My name is Dave Dow. I'm Owen's grandfather. I'm 81 years old. I was born in 1942. And this is a story I'm going to relate to you regarding when I was a kid seeing an unidentified flying object, probably a flying saucer. Uh, I'm from Enid, but my parents had let me go out of Fairview to stay with my cousin Eddie for a week or week and a half during the summer months. So in 1956, my parents gave me permission to go with Eddie and his dad to Colorado to peddle watermelons. They were farmers, and that's what they did during their living. So we'd been, I think it was a 51 Chevy pickup, and we had been picking watermelons during the day and loading them into the truck. And there was no place to put our suitcase except wire it on to the back of the tailgate. So Eddie and I went up to the chicken house to uh, pick up some baling wire. And this is out in the farm. The nearest town was 12 and a half miles away. And at that time, they didn't have a searchlight or didn't even have a little airport. So Eddie and I walked up there to get that, and it was a hazy evening. We looked up to the north about a 30-degree angle or approximately, and you could see something going counterclockwise that looked like an egg in the evening haze. Uh, so we stood there and watched it for a few minutes, and it scared both of us. So we ran down and told his parents about it. His sister was at church that night, so it was just his parents' home. So we got them to come outside and see it, and we all four of us, two adults and two 14-year-old kids, stayed out there and watched this thing for maybe 4 to 5 minutes and just circling a big diameter. We could really only see it when it got close to our side of the arc it was flying at. So we watched it for a while, and my uncle got scared, and he told his son to go up the house and get the rifle. So I don't know what you think you're going to do with a 22 rifle, but Eddie went and got it, and we all four of us stood out there and watched that thing in the evening, and then it just stopped midair and it went straight up. So we were looking directly up at it, not at an angle. We're looking directly up at it, and it went up there and stalled and for just a couple of seconds, and then it went off to the west. We could see it go all the way here to the horizon, since their home was on a bit of a knoll. So we could see it go 10, 12 miles perhaps, but it just went to the horizon in the west, just at a blink of an eye. But we were all pretty upset about it, scared. And a year after this, 57, is when the Russians launched Sputnik. And that was very troublesome too, since the United States at that time didn't have the technology. So we didn't know if the Russians were going to bomb us or what. But all this was in that area when we were kids. And so Owen asked me to tell this story over so he could relay it.
Yeah.
Okay?
So, yep. So it was in 1956, right?
Yes.
Yes, in the middle of Oklahoma, just the middle of nowhere, pretty much.
Is what?
And just like the middle of nowhere in Oklahoma,
It
pretty
was
much.
the farming. Their little farming community was over 12 miles away.
Okay.
They didn't have any spotlights, or even a spotlight would have shown a large diameter, but there wasn't anything back then that could pinpoint something the size of an egg,
Mhm.
in our eyes to do that.
Okay. What color was it?
Just sort of a neon whitish, foggy, hazy.
Hmm.
In the summertime in Oklahoma, it gets a lot of humidity, so it was a hazy sky. So whatever this was flying in the sky, and we could see it going around. Only when it come the closest to it, and then it'd sort of disappear, and then here it'd come again,
Hmm.
disappear a little bit, come again.
Yeah. Okay. And then could you give kind of an example of the angle you were looking at when it went up and then,
Oh,
you know?
when it went directly up, we were looking nearly 90 degrees straight up.
Mhm.
Just watch it all the way up, and then just like a flash, it went off to the west. But it hesitated first, just a second. No sound, never any sound.
Hmm. So what do you think it was?
Uh, I I think it was either something spiritual that the Lord sent, but I don't think it was swamp gases or either that or there's been rumors for years that the United States has built top secret spaceships, flying saucers, if you will. So, but this was a long time ago. So the only thing I know is could have been a unidentified flying object. And the funny thing was, probably a year or two later, I think I was in a barber shop and I was reading a magazine, and there was a picture in there of the same thing that I had seen.
Really?
An egg shaped object in the sky.
Mm-hmm.
So other than that, I don't know. My cousin and I have talked about it many a times how scared we were to see something like that, because as kids you don't know. It wasn't too many years after World War II, 10 years, 11 years.
Mm-hmm.
So we had no idea what was happening.
All right. Well, thank you for your story.
You're quite welcome.